Alan has volunteered to help show us the steeple repairs, and we begin here at the closet off the balcony. Alan, you've been up there many times.
So yeah, it's quite a journey to actually get to the base of the tower, and so we're going to show you what it takes just to get to the bottom of the tower, and that's one of the reasons why the construction is so expensive, of just the location of how you're trying to work on the steeple and the things that they have to do to get access to it. So the first part is climbing this ladder. So we're going to climb up to the first level of the loft and get access there. And from then we're going to go through the attic above the sanctuary to get to the tower. So I'm here on the first level, and now we're going to go up into the attic space above the sanctuary.
Okay, Alan, where are you sitting right now?
Okay, so above the vault of the sanctuary is an attic space that is formed by the sort of the structural steel framework of the church. And so to get to the tower and get to the base of the steeple, you have to go through sort of a labyrinthine path to get there. So basically you climb a couple of ladders, come up to the level where I'm at now, and then we're going to be above the vault of the sanctuary, and then go into the tower space, which is above the area of the narthex. So we're here at the base of the tower, and this is the ladder that we have to climb up to get access to the underside of the steeple. So every day the workers would have to climb up this to get access to the inside works of what makes up the base of the steeple. So I'm going to climb up there now, and then Craig will follow.
Alan, where are we right now?
Okay, so we are now at the base of the steeple, and this is the first place that we can start to see some of the work that was being done during the renovation. This was an area that had a number of areas of rotten wood, and there was a number of areas where water was leaking in to the base of the tower that needed to be repaired. So you can start to see here some of the caulking work that was done to seal off the openings and some of the places where they repaired the wood. It's also a place where you can find some of the times that some of our high school kids managed to get up here and leave a mark that said that they had come up to the tower.
Okay, Alan, we're up in the top of the steeple now.
So yeah, we're at the sort of the middle level of the steeple, and we're the first place that we can get access to the outside. And it's really one of the places with one of the best views of the city and Mount Lebanon that you can find. So up here there was a lot of work that had to be done to repair the steeple. This was an area where they found a lot of rotting and a lot of places where previous attempts at doing repairs to the steeple had rotted over time and needed to be replaced. So you can see here a lot of the work that was being done here up in the steeple in this area. One of the things, there are columns that march around the side of this area of the steeple, and these columns originally were made of wood, and that wood over the 60 years of time that it's been up here have rotted over time. So what we did was rebuild those columns and put on an aluminum covering over them so that it should be a weather-tight and weatherproof kind of coating on these columns that should last quite some time. Another thing that's important detail and why the previous ones rotted is that they didn't have proper ventilation. So you can see here little vents that are put in both at the bottom and up at the top to let air circulate, so if any moisture gets in behind the columns, it can evaporate through that ventilation. The other thing is that pigeons can cause a lot of damage to these kind of structures, And so you'll see new bird screen was put in at this level to keep the pigeons out of this area so that they wouldn't cause any harm. And there's also out on the first ledge a pigeon wire that prevents them from nesting at this area of the steeple. One of the things we did architecturally was up at the top of the columns, you can begin to see a decorative column cover. And that capital that's on top of there was originally made with sort of a fiberglass kind of material that over time again had rotted. And this time we put in, as close as we could find to the look of the originals, a metal column capital that again will stand the test of time and deal with the weather. So lots of things were done at this level of the structure. Now you can also see there's another ladder here, and this is a ladder that goes up into the base where you can see the arched louvers on the outside of the steeple, and that's the last level that we can go access to, and then from there you have just the spire is what's on top of that level. So this is the hatch that goes up to the upper level of the steeple, and probably when we get up to this level we'll probably be about 120 to 140 feet up in the air, so maybe the equivalent of a 12-story building up high is how high we are at this point. So I'm going to go up into the loft here, into the final area of the steeple. So we're up at the top level of the steeple now, just under the spire, and it's the last sort of level of area where they did work on the steeple. Up at this level they did a little bit of work to repair some rusting structural steel and get that repainted and sealed, and they also did a lot of caulking around the sort of arched louvers that you can see on the outside of the building. In this area you can see there were gaps in here between the louver itself and the wood structure, and they've sealed all those and made it watertight again so that water's not getting into this level. And also they did a recoating of the outside where they put new plywood on and then covered it with an aluminum sheathing again to keep this area watertight. So this is also the level, my hand here is on a winch, and this winch is actually for a cable that goes up to the very top of the spire, and they can loosen this winch and that cable comes down, and that's how they can do the repairs. They hook what's called a bosun's chair onto this cable that comes out from the very top of the steeple, and that's how they can then use this to raise and lower people up to the very top of the spire itself.